I'm thrilled to see a lot of my sisters and brothers from the labor movement, from the environmental community, and from among housing advocates and advocates for the homeless. And I'm also thrilled that the public comment combined both of these important issues, and people spoke to both. That shows that these are not isolated issues we are talking about. I am excited to be able to cast a vote in opposition to the TPP today. It is just over a year since my office first drafted an anti-TPP resolution, and I especially thank the members of IBEW 46 of the building trades for initiating that work with us. We're voting to show our opposition today entirely because of the movement of environmental activists, labor unions, and social justice organizations that have brought to light what big business always intended to be a secret trade treaty. Described as NAFTA on steroids, the TPP gives more strength to multinational corporations to sue countries for lost corporate profits due to worker rights or environmental regulations. And the representatives from big business today said, you haven't seen TPP. Okay, but we've seen what NAFTA has done, and we don't need any more evidence. Like NAFTA, the international tribunals that rule on these lawsuits are not the courts of any country and are not subject to any democratic accountability. Given that representatives of 600 multinational corporations have been invited to help draft the details of the TPP, and you and I are not even shown what it says, except what was leaked on WikiLeaks last year, it is no surprise that this sort of court systematically sides with the multinational corporations. Corporations have already collected $365 million by suing governments, usually in less developed countries, under existing treaties. It's not just NAFTA. But under NAFTA, the Central American and Peruvian free trade agreements, $13 billion is pending in lawsuits by corporations. I would like to give a few examples. In 2012, the French firm Veolia sued the Egyptian government to overturn a minimum wage increase. Under NAFTA, Ethel Corporation sued Canada because Canadians had voted to ban a harmful gasoline additive MMT. The corporation won $13 million in fines from the Canadian taxpayers and are now able to sell gas with MMT. Quebec's ban on pesticides containing 2,4-D, a dangerous element, was challenged by Dow AgroSciences under NAFTA and led to a $2 million settlement from Dow from Quebec taxpayers. These examples are not anomalies. They are the purpose of free trade agreements like the TPP. I would also like to take up for a moment a recent editorial by the Seattle Times that argued that the TPP is not something the Seattle City Council should concern ourselves with. Let's be clear. If passed, the TPP will have a serious impact on Seattle. One example, what would have happened if the legal challenge to our new minimum wage was decided by the TPP's International Tribunal of Multinational Corporations? Another example is Boeing. We have seen Boeing attempt to cut wages by moving jobs out of Washington into South Carolina. But now the workers of Boeing in South Carolina are fighting to unionize. Just like NAFTA led to over 1 million good jobs being transferred to the sweatshops in the maquiladoras in Mexico, the TPP is designed to let corporations like Boeing threaten to move jobs out of states like South Carolina to strong-arm workers out of unionizing. And as my brother Monty Anderson from the building trade said, we have to hold a high bar for workers' rights in Seattle. And the only way we can do that is if we also protect the rights of all workers. That is the only way we can do that. A lobbyist from SSA Marine spoke here today. Let's remember, SSA Marine is the private cargo handling corporation that is behind the Cherry Point coal terminal that the entire community of Bellingham, including the Lummi Nation, is opposed to. And as far as Microsoft goes, if you support the workers in Microsoft, be against TPP. I also wanted to say, it is problematic that the Congress does not get to read the language in the TPP, but I'll also be honest, I do not trust Congress either. A majority of the people in the United States do not, and that is all the more important why political leadership needs to be shown at every level, including city level. While the Seattle City Council's resolution has no legal weight to directly stop the TPP, it is a valuable tool for all the activists building a movement against the TPP. They can use the support of our resolution to help organize to stop Obama and the Republicans in Congress from fast-tracking this through. Labor unions are against the TPP, environmental groups are against the TPP, social justice organizations are against the TPP. Basically, anyone who supports the rights of human beings and the environment is on one side of the debate. And on the other side are corporations like Boeing, Microsoft, SSA Marine, BNSF Railroad, Starbucks, JP Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. Well, we know which side we're on.